celebrating every story.
Next up, Russ and I are going to celebrate 100 years with Warner Brothers.
So before we dig in, make sure that you are subscribed to us, throw us a like, and keep supporting physical media.
Okay.
Warner Brothers, Russ, celebrating 100 years. And it sounds like they're having quite the extravaganza. So they put out just like a big, like whole press release about what they're doing for their 100-year anniversary. Streaming, home entertainment, consumer products, like anything that you could possibly get your hands on, Warner Brothers is going to try to infiltrate. Here's what they say they've got. You ready? Documentaries coming out on HBO Max about the history of Warner Brothers. They've got programming marathons coming. They've got merchandise with Amazon, Funko, Mattel. They've got a new Looney Tunes product line coming out. Plus, they're having a candlelight concert series across 100 cities. They're having a special exhibit opened at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour in Hollywood, Turner Classic Movies Classic Film Festival Extravaganza, as well as having some limited theatrical releases.
I've been to the Warner Brothers studios in California. I'm bummed I'm missing out on this
Candlelight vigil?
Candlelight vigil.
Like, what the hell? The one part of their announcement, which is right up our alley, our bread and butter, is the home media, the physical media stuff. And they did mention, again, quite an interesting little paragraph that was a little vague with a little bit of, details to share. They're going to have celebratory film and TV bundles on digital, blue, and DVD. They don't mention 4K. This includes 4 25 film volumes and a 100 film collection featuring collectibles.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
They're going to have complete TV series collections available for the first time. They're going to have best of TV compilations from the WB TV franchises and a dozen remastered titles available for the first time in 4K, including 50th anniversary releases of Enter the Dragon and The Exorcist. They did happen to mention one of their, flagship titles that they are going to be putting out in a 4K box set, which we rumored last year, and that's the Rocky 4K collection. They're calling it Rocky the Knockout Collection.
I'm so excited that I'm starting to sweat.
And when we first covered this, it was mainly just the single films that they had rumored. We assumed box set was coming, but we didn't know how many or what it was going to be.
I mean, who's going to buy Rocky 3?
Eye of the tiger, man.
Rocky the Knockout Collection comes out February 28th on 4K Ultra HD. It's arriving in a box set version and as individual steelbooks. I don't know about individual regulars, but definitely individual steels. We're receiving Rockies 1 through 4 in 4K, and it's including both cuts of Rocky 4. So it's got that Rocky vs. Drago.
That newer one that debuted.
Yeah, so it's going to have that one as well.
Wait, they're not including 5?
Man, I won the title. What more do I have to do?
We are missing 5. We are missing Balboa, and we are missing all of the Creed films, which I don't think anybody was assuming that they will be included anyway. But
yeah, I understand Creed. I can even understand Balboa not being included, but 5 is to me part of this lineage. I mean, 5 came out, like a year or two after 4?
Well, are you ready for this, Russ?
I'm not.
So Stallone has already mentioned, outside of this announcement, that he's working on 5 and Balboa in 4K, and they're going to be coming at some point. They're just not going to be in this.
Good, because this artwork on the box set is terrible.
So basically what you can assume is that there's going to be another box set.
I know nobody's a fan of 5, Sylvester Stallone included.
That's right. It stinks.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's part of the story. Like, you got to include it.
By 3, this series is fucking ridiculous and off the rails to begin. Who cares? 5 is just the icing on the cake.
So if you're a huge Rocky fan, I mean, I don't know what the incentive is to buy this now.
I'm not sure.
I mean, you might as well wait for the whole collection and that be it. I mean, I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling. Like, I wouldn't buy this knowing, like, everyone that watches this channel knows I'm waiting for box sets of everything so I don't get screwed. And just knowing this is an immediate pass for me if I was even considering it.
I don't get releasing these as standalones either. I really don't. I understand releasing the original as a standalone because that is a masterpiece. That is a classic. The sequels are, I mean, guilty pleasures at best.
At best.
You're just a jealous, lazy bum.
So, I mean, if you're going to buy them, you're going to want a set of all of them. Nobody's going to go out here and individually collect Rocky 2 and 3. You know what that box art looks like? It looks like one of those mashups you'd buy of like a trilogy Like, here's the Austin Powers movies all on one disc. That's what this cover looks like to me. This looks like something you'd see at Walmart for like $9.96.
But here comes your 4K solo steals.
4 doesn't look bad.
Dude, you know why?
Because it's the original artwork.
Yes!
I know.
Dude, that's it.
I know.
Exactly. My God, it's exactly why. And that's what we talk about all the friggin' time. It's like, just give me the original art. Dude, they all suck ass until you get to the original art, which is badass art. It fits the movie perfectly. It's a commercial for America and patriotism, so we might as well be draped in a flag. But look at this dumbass Rocky 1 art. Look at that dumb shit. Like, even 3, I think, is the dumbest. Like, he's coming at you. Here comes the fist.
Just throw him on the steps with his hands. That's
100%.
all you have to do. You can be
Yes.
lazy as fuck, and that still would have worked.
Yes.
What is this shit?
The Pulp Fiction color scheme, it's like, let's do black and white and kind of like tap in some red. And aside from the restorations themselves, they will have Dolby Vision, but not much else has been mentioned, except it includes, just for Rocky 4, they put this down here, the theatrical version, Rocky vs. Drago, the Ultimate Director's Cut, of course, and then the making of Rocky vs. Drago, Keep Punching. I doubt that across Rocky 1, 2, and 3, there are not a lot of stuff, supplemental stuff, behind-the-scenes stuff, making of stuff. Stallone would clearly come back and do an interview or whatever. But if this is all they're touting, it's funny to me because is this all there is? They mentioned that there's a bonus disc with a Blu-ray bonus disc with special features from previously from just Rocky. They don't mention 2 or 3. So
I'm going to say skip this one.
this could be a skip for me. It was probably going to be a skip for me anyway. I would get
I wasn't picking this up regard. Even if it had 5 in Balboa, I wasn't picking this up. But
I would get Rocky, like you said, I would get Rocky 1 in 4K because that's the one to get, but not that sorry ass like steelbook art. That looks like shit to me. I'm sorry.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sentimental.
One other of their flagship, titles that's going to be coming out as well, Russ, in 4K in a box set for the very first time. Also, that they are proud to announce is Superman in 4K, the 5-film collection. Superman the movie has been released before in 4K, but none of the other films have. So this is their opportunity to kind of put them all out in their own box set. And there's really no details or anything. There are only 4 Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Mm-hmm. The last time a 5-film collection was released, and it was called the Superman 5-film collection. It was called the exact same thing, just no 4K in there. It contained Superman Returns as the 5th film. So will we get that Donner cut? Will we get Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh masterpiece?
I played Superman. I was told by my, representatives and everyone, they thought it was going to be a big deal, right? And then I wasn't getting offers. I had to audition for things, and there were things that came very close that they were in production and it didn't happen. A couple other things that just didn't happen.
Superman Returns, the Bryan Singer one, that actually had a connection to these movies. So,
I didn't know that. I never saw it.
Sadly, I did. It's supposed to take place right after part 2.
I vaguely remember 1 and 2. For some reason, I really remember 4.
Honestly, to this day, I don't think I've ever seen 4.
It's outrageous and dumb. I mean, I've never seen 3, so you could probably say the
3
same
is
thing.
outrageous and dumb, but it's a comedic masterpiece. No, it's not even Richard Pryor. He's doing his thing. Richard Pryor's a fucking legend.
He's
but
a genius.
I'm a genius.
Trust me, it's the absurdity. It's watching Superman go evil. One thing I never realized I never put together until recently was how close Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies kind of followed these first 3, right down to having the third one,
Be shitty.
the symbiote suit and evil Spider-Man, and in 3 we get drunk Superman.
Drunk Superman, dude. That's awesome.
Dude, drunk Superman is incredible. That's exactly how I imagined it would have been if Tim Burton and Nicolas Cage got to make a Superman movie.
I love that he's wearing his whole uniform at the bar and he's getting drunk there. Like, you couldn't be Clark Kent for this?
What are you looking at? Huh?
You couldn't be alcoholic Clark Kent? Why do you got to be alcoholic Superman?
Because Clark Kent, he's
that's
a
right.
sober guy.
He's a sober guy.
It's Superman who has a problem with alcohol.
Are you getting a box set? Are you buying singles? What are your thoughts?
You have me intrigued on 4. I do, man. I have such a soft spot, like such a nostalgia for the first 2 in particular. I do. I love these movies. And it's funny because I'm not a Superman guy.
Yeah.
I'm not even a comic book movie. We've never once on this channel discussed Marvel or anything.
I'd be down for a really awesome steelbook of 1 and 2, whatever, like maybe in that.
Yeah.
But who knows what the
Yeah, we
art will
might
be.
get that because, universally 3 and 4 are panned.
You
Right.
We'll keep you guys posted. We'll have some Superman news whenever we know more. Thank you, Warner Brothers, for finally putting these out for the fans. Superman fans unite.
Or not.
The last one that Warner Brothers sort of teased Russ, which I know is a personal favorite of yours, is Training Day.
I don't know why you think I obsess over Training
I think
Day
you
so
love
much.
because one, I think you love Ethan Hawke, and two,
I
I
do
think
like
you
Ethan.
love Denzel Washington.
Actually, it's Denzel.
Who wouldn't be a fan of it? They're both great actors. Like, who is anti Ethan Hawke?
You mentioned Malcolm X, which I haven't seen. I have seen Training Day, and I know he won for this, which was kind of retroactive. We talked about that too, but I do feel like this is another like whoa shit performance by Denzel.
He knows my first name?
He wasn't playing villains. Nobody. I mean,
that's true.
that was the big thing. He was always like inspirational or even action movies, but he was always a good guy. And this was the first taste of, oh shit, you're going to not only be a menacing character, but you're going to enjoy doing it. You're going to choose scenery doing it. I've always compared this film and his performance to Scarface.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay.
The first like 40 minutes of this film is like impeccable. It's
Yes.
great. It's phenomenal. You're thinking you're in for a masterpiece. The second half does fall into generic action movie bullshit.
I don't like
But
the second half really.
It's really good. It's a really good action movie, and it pays off from what we've set up. And like I said, so much like a Scarface in my mind, you're not watching this movie for the plot. You're not watching it to be resolved, to see issues. You're watching this to see great actors enjoy being menacing dickheads, basically.
I think what turned me off about it was that, like you said, first 40 minutes, Denzel is clearly, you know, like riding the edge of the law with like how he interacts with the criminals and, you know, his tactics and what he's trying to show, you know, Ethan Hawke, whatever. Like he's clearly not 100% on the up and up. But I wish they would have just taken that aspect just a little bit further rather than making him a complete, he's like literally a villain at the end. Like
in the first
turn
40
me off.
Give me a break, okay?
in the first 40 minutes of this movie, there's sort of like a cat and mouse. We're not quite sure.
Yes.
And that's what's intriguing about it. And by the second half, we know he's just a full out bad guy.
He could have,
and that's where it loses some of the momentum.
yes. And he
But
could have broken
again,
the law. He could have broken the law in some way, and Ethan Hawke turns him in or whatever it is. But did he have to be like a Russian? It just seems so intense for me.
I don't think the movie promised us anything in that first 40 minutes.
Are you sure?
I just think it was that great.
It was good. It was
That it like when it became the generic action film that it is,
Yeah.
we were just disappointed.
when Dr. Dre
But-
shows up,
and yes, Dre and Snoop show up,
Scott Glenn, my boy.
and hip hop legend Scott Glenn.
The fuck's your problem?
Is it a perfect film? No. Is it entertaining as hell? Yes.
Very
Do you
entertaining.
have great performances in it? Yes.
I'd like to check it out again.
Is it tense? Yes.
Is
It's
Ava Mendes
just-
hot? Yes.
Yeah, this was like one of her first movies, too,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Two other things I'd like to say about Training Day. One, you were completely right. Denzel should not have won an Oscar for this.
Oh, son of a bitch.
He should have won for Malcolm X or The Hurricane.
Which I didn't see the Hurricane either.
But I'm just saying, he could have. He should have won for He Got Game over this.
Give me a break.
Ethan Hawke is really fucking good in this. And I think it kind of went under the radar to some people because he's playing off of Denzel.
Yeah.
It's Denzel. This
This was the film that I think sold me. And he's proven it since numerous times. I love how versatile Hawke is.
Well, are you excited this is coming out in 4K and that WB is choosing to celebrate this as part of their 100 years?
I'm excited it's coming out in 4K, but I'm just baffled by why Warner Brothers can't put together a good cover.
I'm not sure.
It's coming out in a regular edition. It's coming out in a Steelbook edition. And also
Holy shit.
also a deluxe edition from Zavvi.
Savvy.
And this has an HDR presentation, an Atmos track, but no features have been revealed as it seems at the moment. So don't know what's coming with it other than what has possibly already been there before. I don't know that this is really a celebration as much as it's just here's this in 4K. This reg art is probably the best of what you have in terms of the options, but it's not very good. I thought this 100 years label was a part of it.
Because that's ugly as hell.
Dude, I thought the same thing. I was like, if all their 100-year anniversary shit coming out has
Yeah,
this
I'm not
on
buying
it,
any of
I
them.
would be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Like, and you can see it better on the Steelbook. See on the Steelbook, you can tell even better.
yes.
Okay, so the Steelbook art is even worse. Like the side profile, the map of the city.
What's funny is I dig the concept.
Just that car that's like superimposed in there. Just all of it. Just looks like it just looks cheap and lazy.
And what's with Ethan Chickenhawk on it, man? He looks like he's about to cluck right behind Denzel. Like, what is that posture?
It's
so
he does look
weird.
like a rooster. And then the Zavi Deluxe Edition for all you hyper fans. So here's the, again, like Denzel Washington's face is like crinkled with his mouth open.
That's the best out of all three options.
Wraparound box. And then the steelbook inside is essentially the same thing, just in a different color.
This artwork doesn't bother me. Maybe it's just in comparison, it looks incredible.
And again, they give you that dumb label with
And
the
that's
100
cool. It
years on
comes
it.
with the original artwork on a poster. Actually, I might pick this one up.
Good.
The steels are mentioned to have spot gloss on the title and the badge on the back. So you might have a little bit of like a glimmer on it, which is kind of nice. And it's going to be about $50 after shipping.
I've made up my mind here. I'm picking up the Zavi one.
Are you really?
I am.
Okay, 2023.
I am. Like I said, this movie, even despite its flaws, or in spite of its flaws, it's so entertaining, dude. I could watch this any day. And that artwork isn't as insulting.
It's ugly.
So Training Day coming out in end of February. No real no-brainers here in terms of packaging, but if you like this style, at least you get a nice hard box here. This might be the way to go. 100 years of WB, awesome. Let's see what else they roll out this year. Based on what we have seen, these are some big announcements and some classic films are finally coming out. But I feel like where's the fanfare for any of this stuff? For a 100-year celebration, shouldn't there be more of a focus on these films instead of just regurgitating lackluster like packaging? Like, I don't know.
If they specifically called out The Exorcist, I'm leaning towards they might have something special.